How about that to kick off the 2024 NFL season? I'm Harrison Graham. This is for Verts. My at-home setup, still a work in progress. I'm aware there's a minor delay here, but going to react to tonight's action as the Chiefs took down the Ravens 27-20, and kind of a weird game that I don't feel like should have come down to the wire, but it did. I'll get to my top takeaways, some overreactions here on a Thursday night, but you're talking about literally, I don't know, half an inch from this game either going to overtime or more likely ending on a two-point attempt. John Harbaugh was throwing up the twos when Isaiah Likely caught that ball in the back of the end zone from Lamar Jackson as he kept the play alive, fired a missile to him, but his toe was out of bounds. On review, they overturned it. Easily the right call, no controversy, and the Ravens lose to the Chiefs once again. And my big takeaway from the final drive is it was kind of the perfect Lamar Jackson storm, right? Where Lamar Jackson drives them down 11 plays, 7 yards in less than 2 minutes, no timeouts, making plays with his feet, making plays with his arm, but two throws before the final play of the game, which everyone's going to focus on, the Likely play where he's slightly out of bounds, and it's kind of like, what more could he do? Well, I'll tell you what more he could have done. First down with 15 seconds left or so, he lofts a ball out of the end zone toward Likely, where if he throws a missile just to the back pylon or at least throws a catchable jump ball, Isaiah Likely has a pretty good chance of coming down with it. Instead, Lamar lofts it off his back foot, and it's uncatchable and out of bounds. Okay, no harm, no foul. The play before to Rashad Bateman was a 40-yard play. They got up there quickly, snapped the ball. They probably should have spiked it, but either way, that was an opportunity. But the next play, second down with 10 seconds left, that's the one that on film review, Lamar is going to be kicking himself. He keeps the play alive with his legs, as he often does, rolls right, has Zay Flowers breaking wide open on a scramble drill, throws it 3 yards behind him. Incomplete. And you're just like, how do you miss that throw? I get it. End of the game, week one, everyone's tired. I mean, the Chiefs' defensive line, they're sucking for wind. But it's just not even close as he looked for Zay Flowers. You got to give him a chance there, man. I'm not saying hit him right in the middle of the chest on a scramble drill like that where he's breaking across, you're running across. You can't throw it so far behind him that he's got no shot to make the play. I mean, Lamar Jackson has 2 MVPs on his resume. He's got to make that throw. Period. End of story. And then the next play was to Likely, and it was a great play by Lamar to keep it alive, but Likely did everything he could and couldn't stay in bounds, and the rest is history. The Chiefs win 27-20. So lots more takeaways to come, but that was kind of the final drive reaction, which is what everyone is going to focus on, and rightfully so, when the game ends on a play where the guy who catches the ball is a couple millimeters, half an inch out of bounds. That's going to get a lot of focus. But Lamar had chances. The play before has to be made. Period. End of story. Make sure you guys subscribe to 4 Verts. We're up late at night bringing you a post-game show here from my house. Studio still a work in progress at home, but we'll continue to work on it and bring you guys the best coverage we possibly can. NFL, college football reaction all season long throughout the 2024 season for both sports. All right, my biggest takeaway, and this was going to be my lead before the final drive, look out, NFL, Xavier Worthy's a problem. Xavier Worthy only touched the ball 3 times tonight, and 2 of them were major impactful plays. Chiefs opening drive, they get him on an end-around reverse, goes untouched for a 21-yard touchdown. Creed Humphrey pulling, just blew somebody off his back as a lead blocker, and the rest is history. Worthy goes untouched. You're like, okay, welcome to the NFL, buddy. And then later in the game, 20-17, Baltimore had cut it to 3. I'm not sure if it was a miscue or in terms of coverages or whatever. I think Marlon Humphrey thought it was a cover 2 look, and then there was no safety help. But Worthy just beats him off the line. It looked like Humphrey was just playing the flat. Wide open, Mahomes hits him in stride for a 35-yard touchdown. And you're just like, bust or not, this guy is going to be an issue. And again, I go back to draft night, and the Buffalo Bills trading down with Kansas City to let them get their hands on this guy. I mean, how can you do that? I don't care if you think the guy that the Chiefs could draft is going to be the worst player in the league. Why are you trading with the team that you're chasing to try and beat? It's just an all-time I don't get it moment from Buffalo. Like, what are you doing, Buffalo? I can't defend that decision. Look, if Keon Coleman becomes an all-pro, so be it. But to let Kansas City get this guy, to get some speed and explosiveness back into this offense, and this is what I respect about the Chiefs. They win their second straight Super Bowl last year, and what do? They say, hey, we really didn't have a great offense last year. We struggled to find big plays. Let's go draft Xavier Worthy. Let's trade up and get him. Let's sign Marquise Brown, who didn't even play tonight. Let's plug holes where there are some, because their receivers had issues last year, and they didn't create that many big plays. Well, Worthy's a big play machine. Rashee Rice is a year older. He looks like a stud. I know he's got the impending legal issues, but Florio said before the game that may not be handled until next offseason, so for now they've got him. Like, my biggest takeaway, just big picture, forget the end of the game, which heartbreaker for Baltimore. I think they really wanted this one after the AFC Championship. They kept, Collinsworth kept talking about on the broadcast, like, Lamar's not treating this like a regular season game. I get it. Lamar's had his issues against the Chiefs. Mahomes has owned him. They probably wanted this one a little bit more. But big picture, how are the Ravens going to beat the Chiefs in a high leverage game? Like last year, and I tweeted this out toward the end of the game, that's an all-time missed opportunity in the AFC Championship. You get the Chiefs at home finally. You hold Mahomes to 17 points. And Lamar and Todd Monken just shit the bed and only score 10 points. I get Flowers fumbled at the goal line. That could have changed things, but that was your chance. The Chiefs scored 27 tonight against a damn good Ravens defense, and they left points out there. There was a swing pass to Samaje Perine that Mahomes had to throw slightly early. If he gets an extra half second there before he has to throw it and Perine turns, it's probably a 50-yard touchdown. So that's 7 points they left off the board. Isaiah Pacheco dropped a ball on a drive that might have been a touchdown. They settle for 3 there. Juju on that same drive dropped one at the goal line. Can't call it a drop. He got hit as he got his hands on it, but a good player. He probably should have caught it. The Chiefs, at minimum, left 10 or 11 points out there. I mean, they could have scored 35, 38 points. I mean, they really could have. And you look at this thing as they're trying to chase a three-peat. I mean, Travis Kelce didn't even do much tonight. Like, Xavier Worthy's making plays. The defense is making plays. How about Jalen Watson with the big breakup? I tweeted out, I don't know if the Chiefs are going to need L'Jarius Sneed. I don't know if they're going to miss him much. I thought Mahomes was efficient. He was finding Rashee Rice early and often. Worthy had his big plays. Mahomes had the one bad pick. He got hit as he threw, and Roquan picked it off. He should have just eaten that one. Couple offensive line moments that weren't great for Kansas City, but Suamatai at left tackle, the rookie, looked pretty good. Thought he was pretty solid. The interior's still great. Juwan Taylor's average, but you can live with that. If Suamatai is going to be solid at left tackle, I just look at the Chiefs' big picture and like, where's the weakness? Where's the weakness for Kansas City? And they've clearly gotten better to me from their team last year, and that team won the Super Bowl. Maybe the defense is slightly worse this year. But remember, they've got Charles Omenihu coming back later this year. He's recovering from his injury. Like, maybe the secondary is slightly worse, but it's not like Lamar picked you apart. I think he was 26 of 41. Got his numbers here somewhere. 26 of 41, 273. I mean, he was solid, but 70 of those yards were on that final drive, which he gets credit for. He made some plays. He did torch him on the ground, 122 yards. Clearly, they talked about that on the broadcast too, Collinsworth and Tirico. He lost, I think, 10 or 12 pounds. He looks faster, and he's going to have to be because the Ravens got one big issue, and that's their offensive line. The right tackle and right guard situation, not good. Daniel Falele, Chris Jones was just eating him up. He was eating up both right tackles. They played Rosengarten, the rookie, some. They played someone else. Don't even know who it was. That's going to be a challenge for Baltimore. I was a little surprised they didn't run Derrick Henry more. On that opening drive, he had some nice runs and scored the first touchdown of the season. But then at the end of the day, it's 13 carries and 46 yards. It's like, why'd you go away from Henry? Like, Todd Monken falls into these habits where he just wants to make Lamar a drop back passer. I get at the end of the game, you're having to drop back and throw the football, and you end up with 41 attempts. But that's not the formula for Baltimore. Lamar should be in around the 30, 32 pass attempts per game, run him 10 to 15 times, and pound Derrick Henry. Like, if they're going to win in the playoffs, Derrick Henry is going to have to be a big reason why. Because if Lamar has to go toe-to-toe as a passer with Mahomes, Josh Allen, or even Joe Burrow, that's not Baltimore's formula. Run the ball, play action, counters, get Lamar on the edge, play to his strengths. Doesn't mean he can't and won't make plays as a drop back passer throughout the course of a game, but if you're asking him to do that over and over again, you're just not playing to the strengths of your football team. And I thought Baltimore got stuck in a rut in the middle of this game, and they wasted too many drives. And even though the Chiefs left points out there, you felt like they were more running a smoother operation in this game. They were moving the ball pretty consistently. And they still had a couple drops tonight, but the playmakers are better. Mahomes was getting the ball out quick. I mean, they were running that Rashee Rice slant kind of option route over the middle all night. Baltimore didn't have an answer. They could not stop it. Now, maybe put a corner on him instead of Roquan Smith, who's a great player, but I don't think he's guarding Rashee Rice. I'm impressed with Kansas City. Good fight from Baltimore. I mean, it felt like when they got the ball back, it's like, really? They have a drive to potentially win this game? Like, it feels like they've been outplayed, but wasn't enough. 1 inch away from potentially winning this one, as Baltimore was going to go for 2. By the way, one other side note, the NFL made a point clearly to do this illegal formation call where if the tackles are not lined up where they have to be, which their head has to be at least where the center's hip is, I think, something like that. Like, Baltimore's tackles were slightly behind a couple times. They threw that flag. They're clearly sending a message with that. Look, whether that's good or not, I want to watch a game with as few penalties as possible. That's just me. But keep an eye on that. They're clearly sending a message there. All right, there you have it. NFL season is underway. What a way to kick things off, man. Great game. We'll continue to work on the production here, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this post-game reaction. If you have an overreaction from this one, mine is Xavier Worthy is going to be a big problem for the rest of the NFL. I mean, he's just someone you have to account for, and that opens up underneath stuff. Pacheco running the ball. I think the Chiefs are back to being an electric offense along with having a really good defense. Chiefs win 27-20. We got the Brazil game tomorrow night. Games all weekend long. Lock us in. Subscribe to the channel. We will continue to keep you guys informed and entertained.